All right, up next we have Cyclo Finance. Cyclo Finance is another money market similar to kinetic markets, but there's some very key differences between the two platforms. So, unlike kinetic, on Cyclo, you don't have to worry about liquidations, which means you don't have to worry about maintaining a health factor, and you're not worried about any interest accruing against the borrowed assets. So instead of those three metrics, what do you have to worry about in terms of leveraging your capital on an app like Cyclo Finance? Well, first off, Cyclo only supports two assets right now. It's Flare or S Flare and Wrapped ETH. So S Flare, for those that don't know, it stands for staked flare, liquid staked flare. And you get S Flare through staking your Rat Flare through another app called Scepter. We'll talk about that in a different video, so don't worry about that. And locking your S Flare tokens on Cyclo, you receive Sys Flare, which is a receipt token. Similar, same thing with Wrapped ETH. You lock your Wrapped ETH on this platform, you receive Psy Wrapped ETH in return as a receipt token. So if you scroll down to the bottom of this page here, there's some metrics that I definitely think you would want to pay attention to when determining whether or not it is a good time to leverage your assets on the Cyclo Finance platform. The main thing that matters, at least in my opinion, is current price of Sysflare or the current price of Psy With. These are essentially the market price of the Psy tokens, and that allows you to determine about how much leverage you can take against your capital, right? Another metric that I would look at is the current lock price. So for every S flare that you lock, you will get a certain amount of sys flare in return. Same thing with wrapped ETH and side width. So for every wrapped ETH you lock, you'll receive a certain amount of side width at the time. And basically, what you need to pay attention to amongst this is when you go to want to unwind your position, meaning you want to start unlocking your capital, you'll need to buy back these tokens, right? In order to and it'll tell you basically how much you need in order to unlock your or start unlocking your capital. You can go to this unlock tab and it'll give you some metrics here. So the unlock amount that's needed to unlock your capital all fully never changes. It's fixed. So you'll definitely want to, and the app will help you do this, but it'll keep track of the amounts of sys flare or Weth that you received per the locked amount of wrapped ETH or S Flare at the time, and that will be how much you need to unlock or unwind your position entirely. Now, again, that token amount never changes, but what does change is the fluctuation of the fluctuation in price of those Psi tokens. So the Psi tokens, especially, let's just use Sysflare as an example, it can fluctuate from 0 to $1. It can never be more than $1. Same thing with the Psi width. It can never be more than $1. It can be 0. It can be anywhere between 0 and $1, right? So we'll talk about strategies to employ or certain things to look at when to start buying back Psi tokens to start unwinding your assets later down the line, things of that nature. Because there's also several different roles you can play within this ecosystem that we won't talk about in this video. We'll talk about that more in that more strategic video related to this particular platform. But yeah, I mean, when you're ready to start unwinding that position, you'll need to start buying those tokens, and then you essentially burn those tokens to unlock your capital. Really, it in a nutshell. I don't want to make this too complicated because when I first started learning how this platform worked, it was kind of complicated, or at least I was making it more complicated than what it needs to be. But for the most part, for the basics, that's really how this works. You'll want to strategize on when you start buying back those tokens. I always try and keep a portion of those side tokens on hand. I may not completely swap those side tokens once I lock my assets for whatever I was trying to do. I always try and keep a little on hand, and I may use my rewards or something like that to slowly but surely start accumulating some of those side tokens. So when I'm ready, I can unlock my or unwind my position, no problem. I'm not really having to wait for price to fluctuate to a decent threshold to where I can kind of like buy all in bulk. I don't like buying in bulk. I like to kind of buy a little at a time. So yeah, that's really this in a nutshell. I don't want to make this more complicated. This is a bit jarring for most people when you hear a money market that doesn't have liquidations or health factors or anything like that, or even interest accrued against the capital that you borrow. Like it takes time for people to wrap their head around that. So I want to keep this video as short as possible. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you found this video informative, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.